Hello. On today's episode of Shadowed Otaku, we have Incident at the Mall by Doug Helm, or Tuxedo Will. Shadowed Otaku padded down the second floor hallway of her home and stopped outside of her daughter's bedroom. Sorry about that. The middle-aged mother of two gently tapped on the door, then waited until she heard a soft voice tell her to come in. After she entered, she stood for a moment and glanced around. The windows were wide open, letting the summer breeze that fluttered the curtains. It appeared to be a good day for Usagi's room, i.e., it didn't look like a typhoon had hit it. Her daughter was seated at a low table, dressed in a blue sleeveless blouse and white shorts. The long golden pigtails of her daughter's hair flowed away from round odongos, which were held with a pair of rabbit-eye berets. The mother of the 15-year-old closed the door and walked over to the table before sitting down. "Usagi-chan," the woman began as she settled herself comfortably. "Can I ask you something?" Usagi, looking dejected, shrugged. "Did something happen at the mail with Chibi Usa today?" Given the title, I wonder, did something happen? Maybe? You think? I think it might have. "Happen?" she replied vexed at them. "We got home okay, Mom." "Why?" Io smiled gently at her daughter. "Usagi-chan, you were pretty geeky when you left, but when you got home, it was like a rain cloud had permanently parked over you." The petite girl grumbled something, but she chose to ignore it. "And you have been short with Chibi Usa since you got home." When has she not been just a little short with Chibi Usa? The blonde-haired teenager looked at the table with sudden interest. "It's nothing, Oka-san." "Usagi, I want you to tell me the truth. Did something happen at the mall?" Her mother asked with a little more firmness. The teen sighed. "Well..." The woman folded her arms and waited. "See, we were at the bookstore. I guess it started before that. I went to the store like you wanted me to. Chibi Usa didn't want to come, so I dropped her off at the toy store. I told her to stay, but while I checked out those shoes and I'd be back. It didn't take long, Mom. At least I didn't think so." "Nay. So what happened?" I asked. She had a vague idea where that was leading. "Well, I went back to the toy store. She wasn't there. I checked around, but there was no sign of her, so I started searching the mall for her. I figured she'd wandered off someplace. I found her in the food court, Mom, at the other end." "So you got mad, nay?" "And then she got mad, and we kept arguing until we got to the bookstore. You know, that new one?" I shrugged and figured I'd probably done worse when I was little. Anyways, I gave up being mad. I suggested go inside and check out the new Sailor V manga. She said okay. "Doesn't seem too bad, Usagi-chan." "It gets worse, Mom," then he elaborated. "See, we were leaving. I had a manga and Chibi Usa had another one. I paid for mine, but when she went to pay for hers, she didn't have enough. She must have blown her allowance already. Then she demanded that I pay for hers too, but I didn't have no yen left either, so the spore blew a gasket. So I was just being mean." Usagi-chan, his cheeks went pink, so I got mad again and brought up how she disappeared and things sort of got out of hand after that. I waited for her daughter to continue. I got that itchy feeling that somebody was watching us, and I saw all these people in the store standing around looking at us, so I told her firmly, Chibi Usa, put that manga back. She waggled her index finger, like I just did, obviously. Like she had done at Chibi Usa. She wouldn't, so I said, if you don't put it back, I can come with me right now, you'll get a spanking when we get home. A little harsh name, Yusume. Sorry, Akasan. I thought that'd jolt her so we could slip out, but instead she went ballistic. It was majorly embarrassing. So, to get out of there, I returned my manga, paid for hers, and left the store. You didn't say anything to me or your father when you got home, Usagi, her mother pointed out. The petite teen sighed and gave her mother a long look. Mom, you would have just gone mad at me. You're always after me for picking on her when I don't. I figured I handled it okay. Why do you think I would have gone mad at you? You usually do. You're always siding with Chibi Usa. She a little over I could hear that in a glum tone. You usually do. You're always with Chibi Usa. Oh, that a little over exasperation show. I don't side with Chibi Usa. The teenager gave her a annoyed and puzzled look. Usagi-chan, you're the oldest. When I tell you, Chibi Usa, that she's listened to you, I'm giving you authority over her. Her father and I trust your judgment. She heard her daughter. Nay, you know what I think the problem is? Nani? You, Miss Kino Usagi, aren't being consistent. Nani? Christ, I hope that anyone who's listening to this review knows basic Japanese. Her mother took a moment to consider, then elaborated. Well, sometimes when Chibi Usa does things you don't like, you let it pass. Other times, like today, you get upset. It can be confusing at her age. Oh. Usagi looked less puzzled. It's like when I tell her Usagi's in charge, and then you come to me later because she's done something that you don't approve of. Just tells Chibi Usa that you really aren't in charge. Usagi was looking dubious now, but not so puzzled. She can come to us and say that it wasn't fair, Usagi-chan, but then she runs the risk of being in even more trouble, as we might decide that whatever you did wasn't enough. Of course, you must be responsible to mete out consequences appropriate for her actions, so be consistent. I could have nodded. Guess I could try that out. Nay, Mom. Don't try it, Musume. Do it. Another underlined on the word do. Chibi Usa needs limits, and if you aren't going to be firm, then your father and I will have to rethink leaving you in charge when we're not around. After a minute of silence, the teen nodded her understanding. Don't worry, Usagi-chan. You'll be knowing this to your own daughter one day. The teen blushed. Oh, irony of ironies! The mother asked, Nay, do you still think Chibi Usa should be punished? The blonde chewed her bottom lip for a moment and then nodded. I got up, walked over to the door, and opened it. I'm going to get Chibi Usa. With that, she left the room. A short time later, a protesting Chibi Usa followed her aunt down the hallway. But Mama, I was watching something. Oh, I'm sure that's her highest priority. The woman turned into Usagi's room, where she resumed her position. Moments later, the 8-year-old appeared. She took on a puzzled expression after she realized her aunt was in Usagi's room. She stood at the threshold and waited. That's right. Right, Chibi Usa, come in and shut the door, her aunt instructed firmly. The youngster did so, stepping into the room and closing the door behind her. She padded over to the table in bare feet. Chibi Usa was wearing a set of white shorts and a red t-shirt. Her puffy pigtails, nowhere near as long as her cousins, exploded from cone-shaped odangos. The color was still a very vibrant strawberry blonde. In her arm, she carried a package wrapped in blue paper with the store logo on one side. Well, Aiko began after the little girl sat at the table. Usagi has been telling me some interesting things. The child went slightly pink. Do you want to tell me your version of what happened at the mall? Chibi Usa glanced at their future mother and then back at Aikuko. Usagi was picking on me! The dean glowered at the little girl. She waited. She made me wait around the toy store forever. One of the people that worked there thought I was lost. The youngster sighed, so I went looking for her. Aikuko, Mama. I figured she was picking out at the food court. Honto and the bookstore. Usa took on a more confident air. Usagi One-chan promised to buy me a manga. She didn't have enough money, but she promised though, so she got me mine. So you're saying that Usagi lied to me? Nay, Chibi Usa? The child tried not to squirm. Yeah? I don't think Usagi-chan would fib. Well, someone is, the woman argued. Just to make sure I understand, let me tell you what I heard. She gave us hypnosis of what her daughter had told her. Chibi Usa, looking rather miserable, now nodded. When Aikuko was finished, she asked, is that basically right, Chibi Usa? Hi, was the soft answer after a considerable pause. Usagi, who had sat quietly staring at the table the whole time, gave her future daughter a long look before returning her gaze to the table. May I see your manga? Wonder where this is going. The child glanced at the manga in her arms for a moment, then handed it over. Her aunt opened it, round her seat, and noted the cost. After a few months, Aiko continued. Well, young lady, your allowance is going to Usagi until you pay her back for the manga. At a minimum. Chibi Usa found the bomber very interesting at that point. Now, I told you that you had to listen to Usagi. Nay? How humiliating for Chibi Usa. A slight, rather reluctant nod followed. Now Usagi has said that you are to be spanked. Whether she does so or not is up to her, but I'm not going to stop it. Ouch! All that's protecting Chibi Usa's poor backside is Usagi's mercy. Quote, unquote. Carefully, Aiko set the manga on the table. Usagi-chan, I want you and Chibi Usa to work the rest of this issue out peacefully. Chibi Usa, when you're done talking with her, you come to my room. You and I are going to have a discussion of our own about manners and respect for one's elders. However, fixed the younger girl with a stern look. We're also going to discuss the fib you just told. The little girl visibly gulped. As she was very unlucky, she'd be getting 2 spankings. One from her mother because of her behavior, and another from her grandmother because of the fib she'd just been caught at telling. Hi, Aiko, Mama. The little girl squeaked. Aiko nodded in satisfaction and left the 2 girls alone. The room filled with silence, broken only by the noises of the birds and occasional car rolling by outside. After what seemed like an eternity, Usagi said, Well, aren't I in trouble a little old for spankings, Usagi-chan? The youngster asked hopefully. At 8? I don't think so. I got my last when I was something like 11 or so. And there was that daughter of a judge who was shown on TV being beaten by him when she was 16. But anyway, Usagi looked up at the ceiling for a few seconds, feigning consideration. That is a little cruel, giving her false hope, I have to say. Maybe when you're 10 you'll be. Nanny, what's the big deal anyway? I gotta pay you back for the backup manga. Her tone indicated genuine bewilderment. Can I go now? Usagi sighed for a moment and then explained, Look, Chibi Usa, I know we are your son eyes. Normally it ain't bad, but today you were kind of rude. Between cousins, it's bad enough. But I'm your mother. Yeah, you're not, she interrupted. Like it or not, Skino Usagi Serenity, I am or will be. The child looked like she was about to say something, but the blonde didn't give her a chance. I know you say your mommy's pretty and smart and everything. I'm not, but... Well, she is, the 8-year-old declared confidently. That would be pretty different from Usagi, I have to admit. Maybe, but she's also a grown woman. The strawberry blonde girl blinked. I'm just 15. I should get some respect, though. I know you can't call me mom. Maybe you don't even wanna, but I'm not happy with how you act sometimes, Miss May. Chibi Usa took on a pink hue at this point. So Chibi Usa-chan, if you were me, what would you do? Baka! Chibi Usa shouted. Who'd want to be you? You're always pig out and are lazy and klutzy, and Usagi slammed her hand down at the table while saying sternly, That's enough, young lady! Chibi Usa sat staring at her with the round eyes, taking a moment to make sure she had a firm rein on her temper. Usagi moved around to the side of the table. Are you done? Silence was her answer. I have a good mind to put you over my knee and give you a very sound spanking. The little girl raised her head to stare at her future mother. I won't worry about the fib since Mom's going to talk to you about that. After a moment, the teen continued more gently. I had some time to think about on the walk home. Oh, Chibi Usa said without emotion. Spanking you wouldn't be fair this time because, well, I made a few mistakes at the mall too. Honto? Was the sarcastic response. This author, incidentally, always portrays Usagi as a much more responsible and mature figure than I ever took her for. Not that that's bad. A lot of the best fanfics, in my opinion, tend to portray things just a little out of character. Just my opinion, anyway. I'm also a fan of Jinma's daughter and a few of the more darkly serious Rama Goes All Girl fanfics. Chibi Usa-chan, but anyway, back to the fic. Chibi Usa-chan, when you first got here, you pretended I was your cousin. We both know I'll be your mother sometime in the future. I'm not going to be your cousin. The little girl looked at her in puzzlement. I expect you to treat me with respect. I know I can't be your mother now, and I don't know enough to really be one. But I ain't just some distant cousin. But Usagi, you don't get a choice, Usagi. The dean interrupted firmly but gently. Hi, Oka-san, Chibi said after a long time, thus acknowledging Usagi as her mother or something close to it. Usagi smiled. Here's what is going to happen, Miss May. Your allowance is gone, like Mom said, and I'm going to keep the manga until I'm paid back. But, Usagi, the teen hissed, silencing the child, you're also grounded for 2 weeks for not listening to me. That's way not fair! It isn't open for discussion. But testing fate for someone who just got out of a spanking, I think. Usagi Serenity. I seriously doubt that's her legal name, but anyway. The teen declared sharply, if you ever speak to me or anybody else like you did today, I will spank you. Is that clear? Hi, Okawa-san, Chibi Usa squeaked out, bowing her head. Good, so go talk to Mom now. Chibi Usa got to her feet and left. When the little girl was gone, Usagi slumped down inside. She had just given herself a ton of work. Why did some things have to be so complicated? As she put the manga away, the teen briefly wondered if she'd ever have the gravitas to follow through on her promise. The end of Incident at the Mall. Authors afterwards? Will and I have always concentrated on the relationship aspect of our stories. Him mentioning that Chibi used to seem to switch a relationship with Usagi based on what she needed at the time produced the idea for this short work. It's been left at the cliffhanger, I suppose. Will Usagi follow through or not? We think Usagi will. Usagi is skittish on commitments, excluding school. But once she has her teeth into something, she won't back away from it. Shuyusa is likely in for the promised sound-spanking win rather than if she's next to rude to Usagi. I say win because it will take the young princess some time to get used to this new Usagi. In the long run, we think they'll both be better for it. For those that were hoping that Chibi would receive a spanking, fear not, for she's going to talk with Aikoko. Thank you for reading. Douglas Hellman will show. Oh, it's hard to spell. Thus, the thing is completed. I have to say, it's very good. It condenses some of the atmosphere of some of the things unique to the Chibi Usa ×2 and younger sailors Senshi stories, and something that's a bit more accessible to someone like myself who still doesn't know how to use the video editor very well, and presents Usagi-chan in a somewhat more serious light. She's shown as an authority figure who Chibi Usa is at least grudgingly respectful towards, and shows her, and arguably, of course, this is somewhat out of character, but I think that this might have actually been that this is not necessarily bad. While it can be another form of out-of-character Sailor Moon fanfic is the infamous Silver Crystal Tokyo dystopia, where we find out that all life and free will has been sucked out of Crystal Tokyo, and everyone's forced to act like euphoric zombies, or the chess master Sestuna, where it turns out that Sailor Pluto is plotting to take the future of Earth where she thinks it should be, and isn't afraid of lying, cheating, or even murdering in order to accomplish that. This is a very sweet and, in my opinion, very... So altogether, I think it's fair to say that this fic is okay, in spite of the fact that Usagi is decidedly very out of character. I really enjoyed the fic, and I'm glad, and I'm hoping to see more like it, that I will have the chance, in spite of not being proficient with video editing software as of yet, to show you more of the works by Tuxedo Will and Douglas Wolf something. I certainly hope to hear from you.